I spent my own money on 4 flagship phones to answer one question in 2026. Who actually takes the best photos? Is it the vivo X300 Pro with Zeiss color science, the Xiaomi 17 Ultra and Huawei Pura 80 Ultra pushing insane camera hardware, or does the iPhone 17 Pro Max still win? Starting with the main lens, Vivo, Xiaomi and Huawei are 50 megapixel, while the iPhone is 48 megapixel. In terms of size, the Xiaomi and Huawei have 1-inch type sensors, while the iPhone and Vivo sensors are a bit smaller, which means they can gather less light. For reference, this is Maria, and I took this video with a Sony full-frame camera. Just note that if the framing of shots is a bit tighter on Huawei, it is because there is no 16:9 aspect ratio in the camera app, and I shot in full screen ratio instead. All photos for Vivo are taken in Zeiss Natural, Xiaomi in Leica Authentic mode, Huawei is on the default Natural, and iPhone is in the Standard mode. Vivo is preserving skin tone highlights, Xiaomi is exposing them more than the other phones, the Huawei colors are more vibrant, and the iPhone picture has raised whites and deeper blacks. You can also immediately see that Xiaomi and Huawei have a little bit more background blur due to the larger sensor. Now let's go inside to see how the indoor lighting affects the picture quality with the main lens. The Vivo picture is more flat with raised shadows, the Xiaomi is more contrasty, the Huawei has a bit of an orange tint, and the iPhone is trying to balance the elements more than the other phones. For this video in LED indoor light, I found Vivo nailing the lighting. The Xiaomi and iPhone are a bit too bright for my taste and too white, while Huawei is on the darker side. This is again Maria on this specific lighting, shot on a Sony full-frame camera. Take a look at her skin tone and the color of her shirt. Vivo is, in my opinion, raising the shadows too much. The color of the shirt has changed and the texture is removed. Xiaomi is also raising the shadows a lot, the skin tone is a bit whiter and has less yellow in it compared to Vivo. Huawei is going to the other direction with the white balance, and it is very warm with a hint of magenta in it, but I do find the contrast to be better than the other two phones. iPhone also has better white balance in my opinion, but also suffers from making the scene too bright and giving the footage smartphone look. I took this photo in the basement with almost complete darkness, and all phones managed to process the image nicely. Only the iPhone missed the white balance and made the scene too warm. Here, this picture shows something interesting. Both Vivo and Xiaomi chose a similar shutter speed, but the ISO of Vivo is 16,000, whereas Xiaomi is 8,000, supposedly because of the larger sensor. That said, the quality of Vivo is not lacking compared to the Xiaomi due to great processing. Moving to telephoto, vivo X300 Pro has a fixed 85mm telephoto camera. Xiaomi has a continuous 75 to 100mm camera, Huawei has a dual 83mm and 212mm telephoto lens with the same sensor, and the iPhone has a fixed 83mm one. Before looking at the telephoto camera results, this is Maria in this specific outdoor lighting. You immediately notice Huawei has the strongest background blur since it has the largest telephoto lens, followed by Vivo and Xiaomi, while the iPhone, due to the small telephoto sensor, isn't doing great. That also makes the photos coming from these Chinese phones have a better dynamic range. If we zoom in, you can see Maria's eye has more color to it, especially on Xiaomi and Huawei than Vivo, and on the iPhone it is green and the yellow inner color is not there. Also, the three Chinese phones, especially Huawei, have a clear advantage in low light situations and can create a brighter picture with lower ISO and less noise. Huawei with its dual camera has another advantage in that you can zoom 9.4 times with real optical zoom and the result can be very stunning. Xiaomi and Vivo are also holding their own and the result from iPhone is not necessarily bad. That's until we go to the basement where the iPhone can't produce a good photo, while the other three, especially Huawei, are doing magic. Also, the 200 megapixel telephoto camera together with AI processing gives a huge advantage to the Vivo and Xiaomi phones for longer zoom pictures, like 40 times zoom. The quality of the photos they are producing is mind-blowing, but keep in mind that they are using some sort of generative AI to recreate parts of the picture. I wonder if the Galaxy S26 Ultra is going to introduce these AI enhancements. The Galaxy S26 Ultra is almost around the corner, and write in the comments which one of these four phones should be compared to it. Also, subscribe to not miss those videos and help us reach 100k subscribers. We are only 5k short. For telephoto videos, again, you can notice the bokeh is very weak on the iPhone compared to the other 3 phones. It is especially strong on Huawei, and it does feel more like it is shot on a dedicated camera rather than a phone. The ultra-wide cameras on these 4 phones are very close to each other, at least spec-wise, and none of them have a crazy sensor like the one we saw on the vivo X300 Ultra. There is no surprise that they have similar optical quality, except for the fact that Huawei produces more vibrant photos even in natural mode. Also, for correction, Vivo and Huawei correct human proportions better than Xiaomi and iPhone. And also iPhone is over-sharpening the picture here in my opinion. When it comes to the selfie camera, the iPhone is the king. The first reason is, of course, the wider lens that it has, which means you can fit more into the frame, and that's awesome for group pictures. Moreover, the selfie sensor on the iPhone is a square, meaning you can take both horizontal and vertical pictures and videos. That's simply a game changer for vlogging or just taking videos with the selfie camera on a vacation. Next, we test the mic quality on each phone. We are testing the microphone quality and the selfie camera of iPhone. Now we are testing the microphone quality and the selfie camera of Huawei. It's a little bit too bright, too exposed, I think.
Yes.
Then we are testing the Xiaomi. Is the microphone quality of Xiaomi good? I know, we'll hear it later. And finally, we go to Vivo. Is Vivo microphone quality any good? You're gonna hear it later. For night photos with the main lens, you can once again see Xiaomi is able to pick a much lower ISO compared to Vivo due to the larger sensor, even though the shutter speed is the same. Here, Vivo and iPhone are compensating with more aggressive processing, and as you can see, it's made the iPhone picture too sharp. With the telephoto lens, the iPhone simply can't produce good quality pictures due to the small telephoto sensor. The other 3 phones have different skin tones, but they all manage to create semi-good quality. Interestingly, for video at night, the result is closer than I thought. Huawei and Xiaomi are not creating an obviously better result, at least optically, despite their hardware advantages. The iPhone has a more green tone here, while the other 3 phones are leaning towards magenta in the white balance. Before I say the pros and cons of each phone, I should be clear once more that I bought these phones with my own money. Links are in the description. My personal favorite is the vivo X300 Pro since the colors are always balanced. The downside is that sometimes the use of AI is aggressive and the shadows are always raised, making the phones look flat. Xiaomi 17 Ultra is a great option if you're into the Leica authentic look. The contrast is more than what you see on other smartphones. The Huawei has insanely good hardware, especially the almost 10 times zoom, but the colors are a bit inconsistent for me. The iPhone is just your typical flagship phone. As long as you are not in low light situations, it does great, but due to the hardware limitation, it won't hold up to the other phones in terms of optical quality. If you enjoyed this video, you can see a more in-depth comparison of iPhone 17 Pro Max versus Xiaomi 17 Ultra next. Thanks for tuning in to Tecmo, and I will see you in the next one.